Marvel Rivals, a relatively new hero shooter game which took the world by storm. In the last 4 months, I racked up a playtime of almost 600 hours. Yep, I'm really unemployed. In a time where interest of the Marvel IP was seemingly waning since Avengers Endgame in 2019, this game actually brought many people to start picking up the comics or relive the MCU again. And it's a very similar scene in the Star Wars community. Only the die-hard fans actually watch what Disney plays out. They are not so pleased with the quality of shows that have popped up recently. Does Star Wars need something like Marvel Rivals to revitalize the community? But before we get started, if this is your first time on the channel, I do Star Wars animations and Star Wars conversations. So if you would like to see some fanfictions, do check out the rest of my channel. Now back to the question. Does Star Wars need a Marvel Rivals? Well, it's a bit of a yes and no. We've seen the potential for Star Wars gaming, such as Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order, showcase the potential of games to bring interest into Star Wars once again. However, you have things such as Star Wars Outlaws, which is kind of a disappointment. Battlefront 1 and 2 were kind of a hero shooter genre, similar to Marvel Rivals, whose launch was disastrous and support was later removed. However, there are also certain factors that play a part in the game's popularity. Most of the players who picked up Marvel Rivals are actually former Overwatch 1 and 2 players who were tired of Blizzard's monetization schemes and just the handling of the game as a whole. In the next few months, if a Star Wars game were to come out, it will mostly be down to a handful of dedicated Star Wars players nonetheless, because the games that are currently in development won't really fill a void in this current junction of time. Recently, besides Marvel Rivals, Marvel has also released an announcement for some games reminiscent of 90s free-for-all fighting games. That is also where the Star Wars gaming developers can capitalize on nostalgia. The biggest name that is in line for a remake in Star Wars is, of course, the Knights of the Old Republic remake, which was announced back in September 2021. Though it's now almost 4 years and we don't get concrete or sufficient announcements about the game. Given the right opportunity and devs who actually know what's going on and devs who actually care about the IP itself, I'm pretty sure that it's possible that a good Star Wars game, much like Marvel Rivals, could come out. I think more importantly is what Star Wars can learn from Marvel Rivals, which is the love for the characters. And basically the game is actually designed to let anyone from a casual MCU fan to a die-hard comics fan to enter the game and enjoy the heroes that they like to play with. So we could have something similar to the fan-made Star Wars fighting game by The Last Jawa, where you have characters from the Old Republic, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars Legends, and just canon, a huge roster of characters, allowing anyone, no matter their level of knowledge about the lore or their dedication to the fan base, to jump in and play as the character they like. It's as simple as that, really. Unfortunately, that will not always be the case because many gaming companies are always profit driven, and therefore most of the games will still ultimately be monetization schemes and not about building the dedication and trust. You know, these are my 2 cents. What do you guys think? Does Star Wars need something like Marvel Rivals to bring back the fandom? Or do you think it's just cool as it is and just, Star Wars just needs to do its own thing, try to figure out its footing? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, if you'd like to see more stuff related to Star Wars, and maybe I may consider doing a bit of Marvel stuff if I want to, do consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you. Cheers!